1. The knocking on the glass. It was just past 2 a.m. when Emily closed her laptop and leaned back in her chair, eyes sore from another night of late scrolling. The only light in her small third-floor apartment came from the lamp by the window, casting a warm glow against the cold January darkness outside. That's when she heard it, a soft, rhythmic tap, tap, tap on the glass beside her. She froze. For a moment, she thought maybe it was just the wind, or maybe the tree branch outside brushing against the window. But there was no tree, only an empty alleyway below. The tapping came again, louder this time. 3 quick knocks, as if someone was impatient. Emily's stomach dropped. She lived alone. The window was too high up for anyone to reach. Slowly, she turned her head toward the sound. Nothing. Just her reflection in the dark glass. She stood, heart hammering, and turned off the lamp. The room fell into shadow. For a long minute she waited, listening, watching. The tapping stopped. Eventually she convinced herself she'd imagined it. She went to bed pulling the blankets tight and leaving the light on in the hall. When she woke the next morning, sunlight streamed through the curtains. She laughed it off, half embarrassed by how scared she'd been. But when she went to open the blinds, she stopped cold. There were handprints on the outside of the window, long, narrow, streaked with moisture, like someone had pressed both palms flat against the glass and dragged them downward. She called the building manager immediately. When he came to inspect, he frowned and said something that made her skin crawl. There's no balcony out there and no ledge wide enough for a person to stand on. To this day, she never opens her curtains at night. 2. The voice in the baby monitor. Megan had only been a mother for 3 months, and the exhaustion was unlike anything she'd ever known. Her husband was out of town for work, so it was just her and baby Lily for the weekend. That night, she finally drifted off around midnight, until the faint hiss of static woke her. The baby monitor on her nightstand flickered with green light. At first it was just the usual soft crackle, but then a voice came through, low, whispering. "Don't look at me. She'll hear you." Megan sat bolt upright. Her throat went dry. She stared at the monitor, barely breathing. Another whisper followed. "She's awake." She grabbed her phone, fumbling for the flashlight, and sprinted to the nursery. The crib was empty. Her heart lurched. But when she turned on the overhead light, Lily was there fast asleep, perfectly still. The monitor on the dresser was buzzing with faint static. Megan unplugged it, clutching her baby to her chest, and didn't sleep for the rest of the night. The next morning, she told her neighbor about it while walking to the mailbox. The woman went pale. "You didn't know? The couple who lived there before you? They lost their baby, died of SIDS in that same room." That night, Megan packed a bag and stayed with her sister. When she came back 2 days later, she found the monitor on the dresser, plugged back in. The power light was glowing green. 3. The footsteps behind the door. When her aunt asked her to house sit for the weekend, Sarah thought it would be easy money. The old farmhouse sat on the edge of town, surrounded by woods, quiet and peaceful. The first night was uneventful. She watched movies, fed the dog, and went to bed early. But on the second night, a storm rolled in. Thunder shook the windows. The power flickered and went out completely. Sarah lit a few candles and curled up on the couch, reading by flashlight. Around midnight, she heard it. Footsteps from upstairs. Slow, heavy, deliberate steps, one after another. Her heart jumped into her throat. She called out, "Hello, Aunt Margaret?" No answer. The steps stopped. She stared at the ceiling, every nerve screaming. The dog began to whine low and uneasy. Then the footsteps started again, coming toward the top of the stairs. Sarah bolted for the front door, but it wouldn't budge. Her aunt always locked it with a deadbolt that needed a key from the inside. She dialed 911 with shaking hands, whispering to the dispatcher that someone was in the house. The footsteps stopped again. Silence. When the police arrived 20 minutes later, they searched every room. Nothing. They told her it was probably just the house settling from the storm. But as one of the officers opened the door to the attic, his flashlight caught something that made his expression change. Inside was a sleeping bag, a small pile of empty food cans. and a portable radio still faintly warm to the touch. Someone had been living in the attic, watching her, waiting.